I can't remember who was in the movie Book of Love.
Marky Mark.
No, I don't feel like that's right.
Winona Houston. Sissy SpaceX. Those are the only three people I know.
Spissy Sasak. Marky Mark, Sissy Spacek, and who was the other one?
No, Sissy SpaceX.
So okay.
Yeah.
So is she like related to Elon Musk in some way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's where it comes from.
Keith Coogan is in Book of Love.
Who wrote the Book of Love? Welcome to Zero Hit Points, everybody. It's December 7th. Most likely. I'm Ryan Miller. He's an elegant man. It's Matthew Amberg.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Your Christmas present's on its way. I hope you like being elegant.
You know what? Eleganza is something I'm very, very familiar with. I think anybody who's met me or seen me knows that elegance is just something that drapes off of me and just out of my pores it flows. I can't wait.
From the drapes.
Yeah, I have part of Christmas gifts for you guys. I just haven't. Evelyn is killing me right now, man. I cannot figure out what to get your daughter.
She does that. Yeah, don't worry about it.
I am excited though. I can't wait for Gray to open up his gift because it's totally one of those gifts that like with the minute he opens it, you need to have a camera out because I assume he's just gonna put it on and I want a photograph of it.
No, yeah. I mean, if anything, you're backwards because literally anything you get Gray, he loves it. Like it's his favorite thing. You've done a great job. You needed to spend more time on the girl, which actually not really.
No,
she doesn't. She loves everything too.
And that's what I'm saying. No, I have been like Gray's gift. I wasn't looking for it. I walked past it. I got it at Michael's for crying out loud. That's where it was.
Spoiler.
Yeah, we were there, and I was like,
got him some good colored pencils.
He is really gonna like a whole bunch of fabric. I can
nice
see it.
Picture frame.
I think I didn't get him a ready-made frame. I got him the wood to make the frame, so he has to join everything. That's but it'll be fun.
Okay. Hey, it'll be a learning experience.
It'll be.
Also, you don't. I say it every year. You don't.
I know.
You don't.
But I'm going to.
Don't.
I have to.
Okay.
It's needed.
This show could go long or short today. Does anybody know?
I'm gonna go with long, but also kind of short.
Okay, well, I went to the Game Awards. I know we're going to talk about that here at the top of the show. Did you want to talk about anything not so serious for a while? Did you want to fluff it up a bit?
Yeah, let's definitely talk about something not so serious.
Did you do? You got one thing on here. I feel like you want to talk about it because it's on here 3 times.
I have 2 things. That we won't spend much time on. I watched 2 movies this week, and both of them are movies I really enjoyed. One of them is a classic. The other is what I think could be a new classic. The classic film or the new classic film? What do you want first?
Yes.
Okay, so the new classic film I watched is called Everybody Wants Some. It's Richard Linklater's most recent flick. He's the guy who did Boyhood and of course the Dazed and Confused. That's what everybody kind of I think mostly remembers him for.
Oh, and this is the one you were saying is like the 80s Dazed and Confused.
And that's exactly what it is. This is the college version of Dazed and Confused. So
Dazed and Confused, the college years.
Legitimately, that's what this is. It plays...
The new class.
It's kind of... It just doesn't have, like... I don't remember if it was Lyle Alzado that was in that or whatever, whoever the RA was for Screech and Slater. But
I don't remember
Loved
either.
it. Yeah, it's a college version of it. Instead of the main characters, in Dazed and Confused are football players, here they're baseball players.
Okay.
So this is 1980, and it's the Friday before the start of the college semester. So you're following a freshman baseball player getting to college, and they the whole movie is based around the idea that it's not a frat house in the sense that it's like Animal House. It's definitely more of a friendship thing. It's way closer to what that 70s show, Dazed and Confused was like in how the characters interacted.
Somebody at that 70s show got real sick of you right there.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to hear that
Every
anymore.
time. And now I'm going to go talk to Tom Cruise about Scientological stuff we could do to him. I bet his thetan level is minimum because like half the people on that show are Scientologists. But yeah, it's not like, so they make a big deal kind of about the baseball aspect of it, but it like there's no baseball in the movie. Like until the very end when they kind of show you're built up with this group of idiots. They're all stupid. Like they're all doing dumb things, but they're not stupid. They're just kids, you know, they're being college kids. And you've got some of the older college kids that are like getting ready to move on and the freshmen and the mid-level classmen. And it's a really solid film. It's not as funny as Dazed and Confused. It's not nearly as quotable, but I think filmmaking wise, it's a really solid film and it's a really good spiritual sequel. And you should watch it if you like Dazed and Confused.
Is it a new? Is this
Yeah,
a new?
last year.
You said it's his latest. That's right. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. All right.
I think it came out right after Boyhood. So
I'm surprised he did anything after Boyhood. Honestly,
I don't know why he's doing anything else. Actually, he's supposedly they're working on the next Before movie, which
no kidding.
I would absolutely.
Was it the
it'll be the fourth one.
Before sunrise, before sunset, before midnight.
I absolutely adore those films too. Those are some of my favorite movies of all time.
What other times of day are there?
It's
Before
high noon.
Before 12:31.
And then the classic. I had to go back. I was just feeling like after Encino Man and Days and Everybody Wants and all this, I needed something like I needed a palate cleanser, something that I knew was going to be like it's going to right my ship. So I put on The Rock. Because it's amazing.
The wrestler, because why not watch him for a while?
Yeah, it was just a still photograph of him from like it was like I would say I guess
palate cleansed, my friend.
2006, 2007 era, like WWE, and when he's standing on the ropes, he's got no shirt on, his eyebrow is up.
Mm-hmm. You watched The Rock. You put it on here, and then I watched The Rock.
Did you really? Mm-hmm. It's so great. I forgot.
Good.
I forget how many actors are in that movie in weird little side parts. Like
they're all in there.
David Morse,
all of them are in there.
Tony
Yeah.
Todd,
Michael
John
Biehn.
C. McGinley.
Mm-hmm.
Totally forgot McGinley was even in the movie.
Really?
Yeah. Had no.
Oh, he's Wild Eyes. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he's a great.
Yeah,
That's great.
Bien's also in it, and Sean Connery. It's great.
Sean Connery's in it?
Yeah, you can see his hairpiece is really bad in that movie. I never noticed how awful it was. It's really terrible.
I didn't notice actually.
Because okay.
If we're talking hair, like Nick Cage's receding hairline draws all of the attention.
Well,
and that's probably why I had no idea.
I think that's why Sean Connery did the movie, honestly.
He's like, I win.
Now they'll never see my head. No, I like for the longest time, I just had no idea up until, man, I guess Finding Forresters when it hit me. I had no idea he was bald forever. Like the guy's been bald since like 1983.
Yeah.
I had no idea the guy was wearing a toupee the whole time. Same thing with Travolta. I had no idea for the longest time Travolta had a hairpiece.
That much testosterone, it's hopeless.
Your
hair's gone, man.
Man, you ever? We're not going to get into it, but did you ever read the back and forth garbage that went on between him and the director of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen that basically forced it, that made him quit?
Yeah, I heard about it. Roundabout.
So bad, man.
That was close to him retiring, right? That wasn't
that's what made him retire.
That's his last movie.
Yeah,
right?
he was. He was so pissed at how that all turned out. He was like, "No, I'm done."
But every other story, I mean, the man's a legend and a genius, and who wouldn't want to meet him? But you kind of get the feeling he's kind of a prima donna. Deserving
age, at that age.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. The Rock. That's a good movie. I love watching that movie because when Michael Bay had all that promise.
It was fun.
You're like, it's great.
No, it's great.
Michael Bay is just the thing because all of his scripts suck now. Like I think he could still do something, although The Island might disagree. I feel like he had more control in that one. And what was the Pain and Gain?
Gain is the one
wrote that, but
that's the one though. That's it's not a Michael Bay movie. Like that's like the atypical Michael Bay.
Well, so that's what I'm saying is like he's got it in him, But I feel like just because The Rock is great, but I mean, I hate Pearl Harbor, which I feel like is where he really jumped off. Like even going back to Bad Boys pretty recently, I was like, I feel like this has at least got to have enough The Rock in it that I can enjoy it. But I couldn't. It wasn't the worst, but I couldn't.
So,
Bad Boys didn't do it for me.
Bad
either.
Boys 1. There are characters in it I really... Checky Cario. I love that guy. He's never in enough movies, and I love the dude.
Sure.
He was the bad guy in that movie. It's fine. I don't love it. Bad Boys 2, I think, is actually superior in like every way. It is totally...
But you watch The Rock, and you're like, I want to know what this guy does next. I want to watch this guy's next movie. Like, he's got it figured out. He knows what this is.
Yeah, I wanted Pearl Harbor to be The Rock, historically done.
Was that the follow-up from?
I don't
tell
think
me that wasn't Bay's follow-up.
No, I don't think so. I'm just saying that, like, because you mentioned it. Pearl Harbor was. I don't hate the movie. It's boring. It's just dull.
I never liked it. The gig was up. The jig was up. All the jigs. Every gig jig was up by the time I saw that movie. I was like, because it was the first movie I remember seeing a trailer for, and being conscious of the whole marketing push. Like this is a blockbuster. We're telling you it is.
Yeah.
And me just being like. Like it's not like you're not fooling me. Like this looks exactly like it was, and I was like I did not enjoy that at all.
So full circle. Have you watched the Transformers: The Last Night trailer?
Oh no, was that for the next movie?
Same thing. It's directed by Bay, and man, you watch that, and every single thing about it, it looks like they're saying it's a tentpole movie. This is the biggest Transform. It looks like crap. Like everything in that trailer looks bad. Not visually. It just looks like not.
Well, it looks. He's garnered no benefit of the doubt, with those movies at all.
I'm just saying that like the trend continues.
Yeah. They make money, man.
Like, we should make a short about Michael Bay. It'll just be a long explosion.
Watch any video of that dude talking, which is the other thing. I want to like his stuff because he knows his stuff.
Yeah, he
knows movie making like bizarrely, amazingly well for the stuff, and maybe he's I don't know what.
Here's you want.
We've talked about this. I feel like at length.
No, we have,
before.
But you want to know who I compare him to as a filmmaker? George Lucas.
Oh, that's depressingly accurate.
Lucas knows how to make a movie. He just makes dumb decisions when he has control. You give Michael Bay a script, you take control away from him, but let him make the movie, I bet it's great. Bet it's fine.
Yeah. That would be an interesting experiment. Let's see what happens when we give Michael Bay a half-decent script. What happens? Because at this point, nobody's even writing the Transformers movies, right?
No,
like, there's no like that's an outline upon an outline that goes into production and is made in the editing bay afterwards. The Michael editing bay, if you will.
Oh, that's his middle name. I kind of picture the Transformers movies being like that bit from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back when they're making the Jay and Silent Bob movie, and you've got Vanderbeek and the guy who porked a pie in apple pie movie sex games, and he's like, and yeah, you're Jay and I'm Silent Bill, and he's like, it's Bob. Did you even read the script? And the guy goes, there was a script. Like that's where I'm at with Michael Bay.
No, that's good.
Now let's go ahead and Michael use the Michael editing bay.
I want to talk about the Game Awards. I did watch one of the movie because I don't want to talk about it at length, so I just want to mention it.
Okay.
Forbidden Kingdom.
We can't talk about it. It's forbidden.
Ringing any bells?
Yeah. Does that one have Chow Yun-fat?
No, Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan. Okay.
Good job, racist.
I knew you were going to kind of.
It holds up way better than I thought it was going to, because I remember not being entirely impressed with it when it came out, but it was fun enough, and I think it did well enough. It's got the kid from Sky High in it, so you might want to give it a.
I just watched
shot.
that movie, so I do like a movie where Sky High people
is pretty good. I watched it because I felt like it was pretty perfect for my daughter, and it was. And she loved it. She was like, "What's?" Because I've been showing her franchises for so long now. She's like, "Let's watch the next one," and I'm like, "Yeah." It was the next. There's no next one, but
I hope in the future you will show her Legend of the Drunken Master.
She watched half of that with me.
Did she really?
When we watched it. Yeah, we talked about it
like
on the show.
I love
an amazing movie.
I love
it's still
that,
like Until I watch Rumble in the Bronx again, it's on top.
It's
basically is how it goes.
Bronx
Or
so
Police
good.
Story or whatever.
Yeah, okay. I'll put that one. I'll put both of those over Police Story personally. But I understand I like Jackie Chan. He's fun.
Yep, he's fun. Hey, Forbidden Kingdom. I did go to the Game Awards this week, so we need to start with a disclaimer.
You know what Jackie Chan would say if he was in Overwatch? It's Shanghai noon.
Did you hit?
Okay, sorry.
Can I?
Go ahead.
The Game Awards, they suck, right? Everybody knows it.
Okay. Good disclaimer.
The disclaimer is everybody's down on it, and not necessarily without reason. But I think we need to qualify it, especially I'm sure there's more than one video out there, but you pointed me at the one from Total Biscuit.
I did.
Which I feel is probably pretty accurate or close to the criticism of everybody out there. Is just that there's a big issue with the commerciality of the Game Awards, right? And rightfully so. There were a ton of commercials in it. Here's the disclaimer. It's a commercial event. All right. I hate commercials. I'm not like I've eliminated every ad from my life, and I've never done possibly anything better. But this is a freaking commercial event. Like this is the epitome of taking the bad with the good here to a certain extent. And again, be against that. That's fine. Eliminate it like I have. That's fine too. But it's never going to be the GDC awards. It's never going to be the DICE awards. So don't, if you're looking for that, if you're looking for this, semi-highbrow place, I don't want, no, highbrow could be a bad, but a respectful environment
respectable.
Where it's games are celebrated in this very serious and deserving way. This isn't that. So if your criticism is this isn't that, like, okay, like everything I see so far, I'm like, so what? Like that's my answer to all these criticisms is like, so what?
No, and so that's why I sent you the Total Biscuit video, because I wanted to hear what your opinion on it was. I like him a lot, and his opinion is totally valid. I just disagree with almost everything he said about it. And the commercialism thing is one of them. Like, he talks about it like he wants the Oscars, but he doesn't want anything that goes into making the Oscars happen. And the thing with the Oscars is, or any massive award show, and let's go ahead and be real about this. The Game Awards, for as much Hufflepuff, as much huff and puff as we hear and we see, we're looking for it. You know what to expect. Right?
Yeah.
This is not that. And the reason it's not, and this is one of the things that bugs me about Total Biscuit's particular whine about it, is that he complains that it's too commercial, but you can't have an award show without dumping a ton of money into it. Keeley dumps a ton of his own money into it, and he still doesn't have an award show. So he has to go out and get sponsors. It sucks. Yes. If you want a bigger show, I am totally supportive. I'd love to see a black tie event that was held like, maybe not black tie, but maybe more similar to the Grammys. Play it off fun, but respectful, but very serious, kind of with your little bits of goofiness in the skits.
That's also not the industry.
It's
like,
not
that would be
the
terribly
industry.
Not representative. Yeah.
Right. Which is why, like, for the Oscars have been around for 90 years? The Grammys have been around for like 60 or 70.
Yeah, and they're terribly all more self-important than, people down in the dirt making games. That's the incredibly democratic thing about games, right? Like, this is anybody can play them and have next to the same experience or do whatever they want with them. Or make them. Yeah, isn't.
You don't have to be a studio to make a game anymore, right? Yes, it helps, but where my point going with all of this is,
nobody in the studio or even in the movie making studio or none of the some of the stars, but not in the way game makers and producers are doing, are going out to the fans like game makers are, right? Are engaging the community in the way that game makers are.
If they did that, Hollywood would just never make a movie because nobody would. No, we don't like that. We don't like that. We don't want that. Don't do that. Never. No. Yeah. I guess my whole point here with this though is that video games, especially in regards to considering a celebration of them, still such a young medium. It's not an old medium. It doesn't have the decades upon decades of backing and attention that Hollywood had or music has, you know? So you're not going to get that anytime soon, that giant thing. It's always going to be a more relaxed, chill atmosphere. And in order to make any award show for video games, it's going to be commercialized because it has to be.
Yeah, does this thing exist without that?
No, not at all.
That's like the thing, right? It's
Keighley straight up said he spent $1 million of his own dollars and he still didn't have a show. Like, he still had to go get more money from people.
Like, being there is a completely different experience as well, because you hear what the crowd does when stuff comes up on screen. Like, you watch it online, you see that Death Stranding trailer, and it's just silent the whole time because you're watching the trailer. You're there, like, the moment Guillermo del Toro comes up on screen, the crowd goes, like, there's noise, like, there's cheering, right?
Yeah.
It's an event. It's a community thing. Like, there's positive energy there. You know, there's people there, enthusiasts or not, that are having fun, man. So I guess shot by shot, some of the things that happened. We're going to talk about kind of some of the news that came out while we talk about, like, what I saw while I was there. Basically, I guess is how we're going to do this.
Let's go ahead and just make this very clear. You were there mentally and physically.
Yeah, my seats weren't as good as I thought they were going to be too, because I got in and bought tickets earlier than I thought I did last year, but I was maybe one row off. Like, I was almost exactly where I was last year, pretty much.
I can't believe you even went.
Cool.
I would have just burned the ticket.
There's in fact, if you look at the stream, the only seats you see on camera when they cut to the audience are seats that are already filled. Like, I'm guessing they've filled those. They've got RSVPs like that. That's the crowd.
Those are probably the plus ones and all that. And I'm sure
I'm way in the back with all the kids,
all the plebes.
Mm-hmm. So right off the bat, Rocket League getting a new DLC pack called Starbase Arc. It's actually out today, so I don't think we need to go. It's just actually a map in a car. So but
now you have a whole league of rocketing you can do. More leaguing rockets.
I would like to get back into it. Actually, it's been a while. I think we're like 2 or 3 updates behind. Actually.
Yeah, no, it'd be great. It was. Okay. We needed a break from it for sure. And
all right.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Bulletstorm?
I love Bulletstorm.
So Randy Pitchford gets up on stage and says, "Yeah, who likes Borderlands?" And everybody likes Borderlands, and then starts talking about. It's just.
Wow, really?
Cruel.
Did he really do that?
He totally did that. Yeah, he did that.
Man,
even Keighley called him out too. He's like, "You're teasing them," and I'm like, "Oh, he's not going to announce Borderlands at all."
No, there. More and more time goes by, I'm not sure how I feel about the pitch.
Do you like Bulletstorm enough to play it in 4K? Or
if I had 4K.
Remasteredly.
That one is probably one I will buy, actually. Okay. I like that game an awful lot. It was a solid shooter. It was
Seems
really
like
fun.
A smart move, because I feel like it got good enough reviews and then didn't. I feel like a different space and time that game does a lot better. I agree. Let's try this space and time. But then actually that was all pre-show stuff. Basically the first thing they did when the show started was bring up Hideo Kojima for his Industry Icon Award, which I guess was straight up the award they gave him last year. They just haven't been able to actually give him the award because of mixed schedules. But then it turned out Keighley got up and talked about a whole thing. I guess it was Kojima didn't actually want to receive the award technically, something about having blood on his hands. This is okay. He
didn't want to receive the award outside of the award show, and he didn't want to receive it until everything had been cleared with like he was officially 100% severed from Konami and had moved on.
Right, because that was the reason he couldn't go to the show last year and get the award, is because he was still under Konami somehow. Yeah. And they told him he couldn't go.
And Keighley, and we find this out because Keighley specifically stated he actually had the trophy.
Called him out.
And he was going to drive to like Las Vegas or something where he was. And Kojima said, "No, I don't want that."
A couple times.
Yeah. And that one specifically is the one he called out about going to Nevada, and he said no, and then...
This all makes a ton more sense, especially if you if you watch the bit, like Keighley's really...
He was very earnest.
It was, but I didn't realize that it was such I didn't like we from the outside looking in, we knew that there was something with Konami and that Kojima had finally left. He started his own studio. I don't know about you, but for me from the outside looking in, everything looked peaches. Like it looked like Kojima was finally getting his own and going to do great, right? I guess he was pretty down. Like he said, I think a quote from actually Kojima is that he thought he had lost everything.
Yeah, he said it. Yeah, he said it right there. Like
it makes a lot more sense if you look at it that way. Like I guess stuff was pretty dour, which is a bummer for somebody who has done so much. He deserved the award.
And the crazy thing was, and this was only alluded to at the show. It didn't. I don't think it was specifically stated there, and I read it later on in a deeper interview with Keeley that Kojima was forced into a room, like into an office, basically at Konami headquarters, sequestered away from the rest of his team, and he had one person that he had to relay messages back and forth through.
Man, that company, that's how every story that comes out of that company.
That's how mad, that's how pissed Konami was at him for whatever perceived slight.
And now they got Metal Gear Survive or whatever. So everybody, boy, did they get theirs.
You know what? I'm sure that's going to do really well.
And he got a standing ovation too, which is the other thing you don't see on the. Actually, they might have shown the standing ovation, but you don't see like the rest of the theater also standing for him. Right. So, whatever. That's it was cool being there for that.
He had a nice speech. They were both. Kojima was very appreciative. He seems like the guy that is. And I feel like a lot of the Japanese developers feel like this, and they don't necessarily express it because I think it's cultural, but they seem like they are so, and him in particular, so thankful and appreciative of the people that do support them. He really cares that people care about him and what he's doing, and
seems cool guy. Nice. Yeah, totally, yeah. And then he dropped a trailer for Death Stranding with Guillermo del Toro, like the actual dude, well, the character model, but acting, not directing. The Guillermo del Toro, the director.
It's true.
And then Mads Mikkelsen is the bad dude, steps out later.
Yeah.
But you've probably already seen the trailer by now, not just you, but everybody.
No, just me.
So it everything's cleared up at this point. Now we know what Death Stranding is. So.
Yeah, it's totally clear. The story is laid out. It's actually, considering it's a Kojima thing, it's pretty pedestrian.
Yeah, completely understandable.
Very cool. Somebody did figure this out in relation. If you watch the two trailers, the original trailer with Norman Reedus and then this one kind of side by side, there's a slight delay, but the moment Norman Reedus is like, he's holding a baby, it disappears.
The
Reedus fetus disappears, and then it shows up into Del Toro's...
because he's got baby in a bottle.
And then the baby shows up in the bottle. So they're related? Who knows?
Okay. Yeah, no, they're probably related. I'm going to go ahead and say that both those trailers are related.
Both of those trailers.
And then the other thing they did was show a bunch of these Assassin's Creed trailers of the movie trailers throughout the show. Did you catch all those?
I have not caught all of them. I've watched enough of them to know that movie is happening.
We've recently talked about the movie, actually, because you had seen something where, like, man, every time I see this movie, and I probably completed your sentence where I was like, yeah, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. These trailers, I want to say, the ones they showed throughout, 2 or 3 at least, probably helped me a little bit. Like, some of the stuff they did show, I was like, okay, not bad. Like, I got over how questionable the Animus looks, I guess. Maybe. I guess a part of our issue was, why aren't they just copying even the first game whole scale, because that game was beautiful and like the Animus was beautiful.
Yeah. I don't like I guess what's funny to me is this is one of those things where Hollywood feels like they've got to fix it, because the Animus
Ubisoft is involved heavily
where you just lay down and you're transported. No, that's not interesting enough. We need to put a needle in your spine and like make you moving all around. That's all right.
Actually, I just answered my own question. Ubisoft is involved heavily with this thing.
Yes.
Okay.
It's probably. I bet in the middle of the movie, somebody's head's gonna just go, and there's gonna be all sorts of weird graphical glitches. Yeah, somebody's gonna turn around. They're not gonna have a face.
I can only hope. I will go see that movie now.
Michael Fassbender. Yeah, if Assassin's Creed the movie had Michael Fassbender being glitched like those games are, 100%.
Man, have you seen the comparison videos? Polygon did one especially between the Ezio collection remastered and the original.
I don't know how they managed that.
Ridiculous. There's that one dude in the crowd too whose face is just
like flattened. It's like
it's scared, like nightmarish, like not even a glitch.
He looks like a Dick Tracy character.
Wow. And then let me tell you, sir, the jewels were ran.
Okay.
Boy, oh boy. They're a band that sings songs, run the jewels. I know. I'm hip.
I kept thinking this was like a Temple Run sequel. No joke. I thought it was like, oh cool. Did they do like Temple Run, but now it's kind of like Columns or Tetris or something?
Temple Run the Jewels. You know what? We don't know it's not. Let's be honest.
I don't.
I'm not. I saw them and I'm still not sure. And then the Telltale Guardians of the Galaxy game was confirmed with a little teaser trailer. Who cares? Did you see the actual Guardians of the Galaxy trailer, the new one?
Push this one, not this one. Yeah, that trailer.
Glorious.
That trailer. So I liked the first movie a lot. It was fine. Really,
a lot.
Really good flick.
It's slowly becoming maybe my favorite Marvel movie.
This trailer
somehow
definitely got me way more excited than the first movie trailer did. And just based on, I can't wait, man. It looks so good. It looks great.
You can go back far enough in this show that we talked about when they announced that. And we were both like, I don't know, like, how do you remember when you were like, with the second Rocket Raccoon gets on the screen, like what does, it makes or breaks the movie basically.
Yeah, totally does. And it looks like, I think that scene that they show in the trailer with him and Baby Groot and the bomb,
perfect. It's amazing.
It's not only is it perfect to remind everybody what Rocket's like, it sells the character, like it sells it. You see those two interacting and you're just like, oh man, I cannot wait to see what other, because you remember all through the first movie, Rocket's on Groot's shoulders and Groot, like now we can't be on Groot's shoulders.
And to land Baby Groot though, like what after the first movie, what are they going to do with Groot?
And to land
to
Baby
not
Groot.
Because they could have just come back and Groot's fully formed, like he's back, whatever, we're back to it. Anybody could have seen the first movie, especially any movie executive could have seen it and been like, we need to stick with Baby Groot for a while, like critically and just cutically. He needs to be so good, but to actually pull it off to
see little Baby Groot chasing like the human guy that's running away, like hilarious, great stuff. You know what's not great?
Cancer.
It's not so great,
man.
I'm glad you set this up.
What a great segue.
No, this is perfect. You set this up the exact way that it was introduced at the award show. And this is the one thing Total Biscuit did say that even when I saw it immediately, I was like, you idiots. I don't.
So you agree with Total Biscuit on this one?
On this one, I did. Yeah, that was
okay. So
bad.
This is one of those instances where, and Keeley pointed out, of course, because he's a good host. This is why the show is done. This is you taking the good here with the bad. Like,
yes.
Honestly, everything else can suck as much as it wants to. Like, commercialism sucks. The bits with the Schick Hydro guy were stupid and embarrassing. But
I don't know. I went out and bought a Schick Hydro. But...
Fair enough. But then it was a category for Games for Impact, and that Dragon Cancer won, and Ryan Green, the guy who made it with his wife about his son Joel Green, who died from cancer, came up to accept and delivered a beautiful acceptance speech. The moment Total Biscuit had a problem with was how the announcers, who were announcers, they're enthusiastic or whatever, said that Dragon Cancer, like,
and they were
enthusiastically
and
yelled the name and smiled at they. I get what Total Biscuit is saying, but that certainly wasn't the spirit of any of it.
No, it's not.
And go back and watch it. The whole crowd was doing that. The whole crowd was yelling and cheering. No, not for cancer, for what this guy did with it. So it has a place and it's fine.
Absolutely. I don't think that they were doing it maliciously or anything. I just think that that's one of those things where when you find the answer out and it's that title, maybe you dial it back just a little. Like,
fair, which is completely valid.
It's not. It's not a matter of whether or not like they were trying to be offended. They're not. They were also
dumb
there
at worst.
being dumb. Yeah, it was just it was a little bit of short, no forethought, and it's one of those things where you go, fine. It didn't matter because at the end of it, Ryan Green came up and honestly, it's probably something we should just put on the website because it was an amazing.
Did we not? Who's doing the website at this point?
Is there a website?
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
It was
speech.
a cool, freaking cool moment.
Yeah,
definitely
great. It was a great moment. I wasn't there, but I watched it. And it was a great moment. Like I sat down, and I rewatched it, and I had to show my wife. And if you've ever, known anybody who's been touched by cancer, it's awesome. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be great. You can make video games. Like that's what you do. You're just like, man.
Touched by a Cancer, Thursdays on ABC.
Starring Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Tim
and
Taylor.
Then Clifford B got up and talked about Lawbreaker some. I only put this here because I wanted to check in with you. Our resident team fighter shooter, Matt Amberg. You fight the team constantly. What am I going to say?
Me and the team don't get along.
Team shooter man, how is checking in with Lawbreakers with you? How's it going? How are you?
I'm still in the same position I was. I still don't think it's anything. Well, we'll see. Like Alpha was not. It didn't leave a great impression for me. It was fine. I just didn't love it. It just didn't. It was very by the numbers to me, and it was pretty dull actually.
So nothing in the new trailer.
The trailer didn't do anything for me because it doesn't look like they changed much of what I thought was kind of dull, and I don't see them doing it because it seemed like that was kind of their core game. So
it seems like they have the core, definitely. Yeah, I wouldn't expect too much.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, I'm not. It's not dead to me or anything. It's just the alpha didn't do much, so I want to see where we go with if they do a beta or something. We'll see.
My conspiracy theory, like this is, I feel like they're deliberately holding this thing back, given Overwatch's success. Like,
could be.
On the one hand, yes, Overwatch is going to push a resurgence in that genre altogether, and I'm sure Team Fortress 2 is still doing fine. But I get the feeling they are holding on to this and polishing it as much as they can and want to kind of wait out Overwatch maybe a little bit until people are thirsty for something a little new.
I think the other part of it is I think Blazinski knows that, man,
smart dude.
I'm a loudmouth. I'm very, very obnoxious. And if I don't put out a good game that everybody's kind of been expecting me to put out, because like I've been sitting on nothing since like Gears of War 2 or whatever, this is not going to end well for me.
He's dialed it way back. Like the dude.
I'm not saying he's obnoxious now. I mean, no, he is. He's totally obnoxious. But I like the guy. I think he's great. He's a lot of fun to listen to. He's a smart cat. He knows video games.
Yeah.
I just think that maybe Overwatch is part of it. I do think a huge chunk of it is going to go back to I don't care who you are when you're 18, 19, 20 and you've got a Ferrari, you're working at Epic Games, you've got an ego, and there's no chance his ego has left. Maybe it's dialed down so it's not his driving force.
Yeah.
But this game, Lawbreakers, is not a boss key game. It's a Blazinski game. And
well, he's an auteur if ever there was one in games. Yeah, no,
totally. If the game sucks, I just don't think he's not gonna take that well. And I think he'd rather sit on it, polish it, make it as perfect as he can get it to where he thinks like this is it.
For sure.
We'll see.
All right. Then Mick Gordon, Mick from Down Under, got up and performed the music from Doom
Mick
that he
the Dundee
created or helped create. Yeah, I'm sure that's his nickname. Absolutely positive. If it's not, he's got it now. And
do you think he walks up to people?
Welcome to hell.
He's like, it's not a guitar solo. This is a guitar solo.
He said that. No, yeah, that was the words to the Doom song that he played. It was pretty cool. It was fun to watch him do that. And yeah.
That looked amazing. It was. The audio that came through on that, I've watched it a couple times now. Not great.
Was it bad?
It's not bad. It's just not great. And especially
you need definition on a song like that to appreciate it. Otherwise, it's just freaking noise.
Yeah, for heavy metal, for stuff like that, like that doom metal, death metal stuff. Yeah, you gotta be able to hear it. And it was, I don't know if it was just mic'd badly for the recording. It was. I expect to hear a lot of double bass pedal, but it was like all double bass, and I wasn't getting much of I wasn't hearing the nuance in the guitar.
It sounded good there, but yeah, what you heard was obviously not a room mic. It was probably all fed and mixed. So yeah.
Yeah, and I just it was cool though. It was cool, but
it was cool no matter what. Yeah, for sure. And then they had the category for best performance, and Nolan North won, of course. Whatever. The thing that was interesting was when he got up and seemingly called out the voice actors. Like, he had a quote that the voice actors, while on strike, have had this hashtag called Performance Matters, which refers to their performance, obviously, whereas they feel marginalized in a lot of ways. Like, who cares who the voice actor is? Like, we'll get what's his face down in IT to do it real quick for us,
right? And they constantly pull out like one or two quotes of some exec saying nobody buys a game for an actor or something.
Exactly. So Performance Matter has been their tag. Nolan North gets up there and says those words. He says performance does matter, and then named the developers and other people that work on the game in that, which has been the main kind of argument. And I talked about it a little bit too when we talked about this, where I feel like if anybody should get some money on the back end a little bit, which is one of the things the voice actors are demanding, it should be maybe some of the developers, that get laid off after shipping a game because their job's done. So to have Nolan North go up there and I mean, he hasn't said anything after the fact, but it would be hard to construe his words as not kind of putting the voice actors in strike kind of in check a little bit, which is super freaking interesting, man.
I didn't read it that way. I read really? That in a different way. Yeah, I read it as him definitely still siding with the voice actors, but him saying that this is greater than just the SAG-AFTRA people. We can do this because we're SAG-AFTRA. We have the ability to say, we're not going to do it. Good luck. Developers don't have that. Producers don't have that. People that make games don't have that. And I think what he was saying was like,
that's why I say putting them in check.
I don't think he was putting the voice actors in check. I would think he was, personally, again, the way I'm reading into it was more saying our performance matters just like theirs does, and we're in this together, and we should be fighting the same battle together. That's how I read it, not so much as a confrontational.
That's
the way you said it makes it sound to me like you're saying
I think we're talking about the same thing, but yes.
The way you said it just made me think he's the way you interpreted it is him saying, yeah, we could use the money, or we should be have attention brought towards the voice actors, but we don't really need to be striking. These people should be more.
No, not at all.
That's what I thought you were. That's what I just meant
like he was, when I say put in check, it was kind of like, I say, like, if anybody out there is saying flat out performance matters, like us, he's just saying,
okay, yeah,
you don't live in a bubble, like,
got it.
Performance does matter. I think whatever. Yeah.
And we are once again on the same page. Just
once again,
I can't understand you, and you don't even listen to me.
What? And then there was a new Prey trailer. Continues to be Prey. They called it Prey because that helps something.
Does it continue to be Prey though?
It does. That's all. That's the only thing I say about it, because they should have just named it something else. I'm still interested in
Looks
it, but
cool,
they wanted the stuff. Whatever. So cool. And then they had a big old chunk of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Man, or legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Legendary breaths.
Zelda.
Wild.
Which the only thing I thought that was interesting, they went so deep that you got a look at a bunch of stuff, like the inventory screen, like the enemies dropping loot. It looks like there's a little bit of loot juggling in there.
Yes, there's definitely some changes.
Link freaking ragdolls when he gets hit, which sounds like a dumb thing to say that there's ragdoll physics in it, but think about any Zelda game, which is so like directed and kind of uber polished, and it does not deviate. Like to just see Link flop around on the floor like a ragdoll, you're like, I don't know. Maybe there's been a Zelda that's done that before, but
no, because like every other time you get hit as Link, it's like they just did one animation drawing.
An animation,
like one draw.
Exactly.
They did one drawing of him going, and then he goes and just kind of hovers backwards, or he goes like woo into the air,
or
but
stumbles or something. It's an animation, yeah. So to see, it's I mean, this is the open world Zelda game, so that's.
My favorite instance of ragdolling has generally been in the Hitman game, so I'm hoping that makes its way in here, that like maybe 47 shows up behind Ganon.
You won't be disappointed.
I never am.
And then some Shovel Knight. There's a prequel. I think maybe there's a trailer for a lot of this stuff too. It's called Spectre of Torment. You're playing as a different dude.
A specter.
Of Torment.
Well, we don't know that.
It looked cool. I can't wait to play Shovel Knight on my Xbox someday that I bought a year ago. And then Halo Wars 2. Did you see that footage?
You know
that
what?
Trailer?
I didn't, and let me tell you.
Oh, did you?
I am not excited. Yeah, not a game I'm ever going to play.
Dude, watch the trailer, though.
I'll watch the trailer, but I'll never watch it.
That's a good trailer.
Really?
And then after that, it's still Halo Wars 2.
Oh.
Is my only, thing. But it was good, man. The animation.
Do love a good trailer.
The story, they set up a good villain, and then you're going to play an RTS. So
no, I'm not.
Whatever. And then, man, forget Run the Jewels.
I didn't know what they were then, and I can't remember now.
Well, if you don't know who they are, I had to Google this many times after watching the announcer say the words and still not being able to parse the language.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it was Sway Lee and Slim Jimmy.
Yeah.
Which together make up Ray Shremmerd.
Okay.
Singing the song Black Beatles.
All of that is a lot of words that I recognize, but that sentence doesn't make sense.
You recognize? What's Ray Shremmerd?
I don't know. I recognize words.
That's not a word. Good job, kids. You made words that us old folks can't say. You did it. Good job.
I can't wait for a new frontier.
Kids. Yeah, that was the next thing, the Walking Dead. Good segue.
Thanks, dude. Always call it out.
No real news there, except they're both I guess it's kind of a weird thing.
Oh,
they're
no,
like,
no.
what? How are you going to launch this? They're like, episode 1 was so big, we had to break it up into 2 episodes. So we're launching 2 episodes on launch day. And everybody's like, yay, wait.
Yeah, it's just stupid. It's just dumb.
Did we just get charged twice for the same thing?
You sure did. So the interesting thing about New Frontier, though, is we are getting to a point in the comic books where there is a very, very good chance that the characters from the Walking Dead Telltale games are going to have a connection with the comic book characters. We're finally going to get across.
Interesting. It's about that time that I bet each series, both the TV show, actually the comics, I don't know. The comics are probably doing as good as they've ever done, right?
In regards to sales and stuff, sure. Story-wise,
the TV show is kind of waning a little bit. Viewership is down. I don't know how the games are doing, but I feel like I don't know. For me anyways, there's a fatigue setting in. Yeah. So I got to feel like, they're going to start plugging stuff in to kind of boost sales for a bit.
Yeah. So yeah. All right.
Clementine pops up and that was cool. Like old Clementine.
Yeah.
That was cool. You're right. I'm probably not getting it. Dude, if I get a Telltale game, like the Guardians of the Galaxy game, actually, there was a twinge when that came out. I was like, just talking about it, because it's been a rumor forever. I'm like, I don't know.
There's a lot they can do with it, man.
There is, right? Like, I don't know how this is. I didn't know I'd be that into it.
You are my Star-Lord.
Mm-hmm. And then Mass Effect Andromeda, there was a big old fat bunch of gameplay that they showed. And honestly, that game looks beautiful, and I love me a big story RPG. But I'm uber picky, so grain of salt. The voice acting sounded a little stilted, honestly. And it looks very shootery, which I guess that's what Mass Effect. It still looks like what Mass Effect was, but I guess maybe it's been a while. It looked like a whole bunch of shooting.
It didn't capture your imagination the way the original did.
I guess
maybe it's because this is one of those. I wonder if maybe because you mentioned the time in between. I wonder if you've heard about Mass Effect for so long and you've thought about it and we've talked about it, that it's just you have a preconceived notion or a false memory of what it was. Like, I spent a lot of time in that menu. I spent a lot of time building this character and changing my points and doing all this. Did I do a lot of shooting? I don't really remember doing a lot of shooting. But yes, I guess maybe I did do a lot of shooting. I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever. I wrote down it looks shootery, so I figured I'd say it out loud.
It looks great. Visually looks fine. Looks wonderful. Just Mass Effect doesn't do much for me.
Okay.
We'll see.
Does Overwatch do much for you? Because it made Game of the Year.
It did. We talked about that, and I don't remember either of us choosing it for Game of the Year. Pretty sure we both universally chose Doom.
But I can find not one single problem with that. Again, I'm showing my hand a little bit when we talk about favorites of the year, but cannot fault anybody that's going to put that game in that position.
No, not at all. I love the game. I'm still loving the game. It's been since May. That game is still fresh to me. It's still interesting. They're focusing on it. They're keeping up with it. They're listening to the
support is fantastic.
Yeah, they're listening to the community. They're making changes that are for the most part make sense.
To the point I feel spoiled. Like this must be how like League of Legends, yes, whatever, World of League Craft. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Blizzard, people who play Blizzard games, this must be how they feel like all the time.
I don't think that's
spoiled.
That's definitely not the case.
Make me feel so pretty.
Ask anybody who played Diablo for the first 6 months, Diablo 3.
Did they feel spoiled?
They felt very bad. They felt like spoiled eggs.
Anyways, yeah, that's Overwatch. Let's make this quick since we've done a lot of time. Did you play Overwatch this week at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that game. I started playing Winston finally. That's
nice.
Been the dude that I
Science
went to.
Monkey.
Which honestly, he was the one of maybe 5 or 6 that I couldn't quite grasp. Mm-hmm. And last time I played him, it's been since the game came out. So it was very interesting to go in and actually understand. Like it's probably been since I've been playing, lots of other things, but to do something with him and get like, I didn't get any of his achievements yet, but I started having fun with him and understanding how to use his things. It was all over again, man. That game. Same
boat. Same boat with him in particular too, was very recently. I was like, I want to try him. And what I found was, I really enjoy playing him, but he can't be my starting hero. I have to pick somebody else because I have to know what their comp is first. What I found with him is if they've got a small team, if they don't have a ton of tanks, he's great. He's fantastic against all the squishy guys. He just does nothing against tanks.
Run around punching. Yeah, no,
and you just have to learn how to do the dive bomb. I mean, if you can dive in and get some support, he can be brutal.
Which is what I started to find out towards the end, because even with my ult, I would hop in and almost instantly dead, but I was hopping. It was, I forget what the game type was. We're defending the point, and run into the point. It doesn't matter. You're gonna die pretty quick. Yeah. So yes, the dive bomb. When I started to get that,
I'm trying to remember. It's I think you're supposed to the combo is dive bomb. You drop the shield, ult, go to town, then jump out so that you don't get wrecked.
I like it.
In theory,
do it immediately.
In theory, by the time you land, drop that, do your ult, get a couple of hits in, your jump should be back, so you should be able to jump out. And actually, when you ult, you get your jump right back, so then you can dive out if you need to.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know you've been doing more Sombra. Did you want to talk about her?
No, nothing new to add. Oh. I'm still learning her very much so. I really, really love the character. I'm having a ton of fun with her. I did start I did my first 2 competitive placement matches with Sliptide.
Yeah, you and Sean were gonna do that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Amy and I actually, Sean's wife Panda, she and I played along with actually a bunch of.
Amy
there were 5 of us.
Sliptide.
She
Congo reference.
She does. That's nice. I liked it. Remember when Bruce Campbell was in that? Yeah, there were like 5 of us. We were expecting you to come back and you never did. But
is that the night you did it? Yeah, I did not make it back. Okay.
It was fun.
Well, good.
Yeah,
that's probably why you did so well.
I played Sombra. I think for. No, actually, I've been focusing on McCree again lately because I want to get good with him. And
okay.
I actually finally got a really good high noon in a competitive match that actually won the match for us, which was freaking cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good game.
Yeah. Other than that, I did not play any extra Overwatch.
Okay. That was the Game Awards. Game Awards. Yeah, the show was done. Overwatch Game of the Year. We start to shuffle out, and at the doors, they're handing out codes for Gears of War 4.
You got Gears cards!
Yes, they had Gears cards for the Run the Jewels airdrop, which is this thing that's been on Gears of War 4 in the store for, I don't know,
couple
months
weeks
now.
Yeah,
but it's months. Like, it's a $20 thing, which I didn't completely understand what it was. But yeah, it was $20. I knew that you got the characters. American. It was skins. It's skins. I guess I did understand that. So they're handing out all these cards, and I was like, oh man, right? Because I'm always thinking,
You do.
all I need to do
you think
is redeem these codes, and then I can scrap the stuff I get from it and use that to buy cards that I do want that will assist me in things like leveling up, which the game doesn't want you to do, etc.
It doesn't want you to play it. That's
so
what the game's at.
I go around because there's like 15 exits to this theater, right? Microsoft Theater in downtown LA. So I go around to like because it's the employees handing them out. It's nobody involved with the game or involved with the
and
theater.
they don't care.
They don't care at all. So I'm going like just working my way down the line. Like, hey, can I have 2 of those for my friend? Like, can I have another one for my friend? Okay, like just down all the exits, getting my cards. I don't know how many I ended up got. Maybe
100, 140,
10, 15, something like that.
Oh,
so I am set, man. Gears of War 4 is now a game I want to play. It's gonna be great.
Is it? Is it going to be great? Are you going to scrap all of those cards?
So I redeem 2 because they're the codes, right? So I redeem the codes, 2 codes, and I'm like, maybe I should go in and check this out first before I just redeem all of these, wholesale. So I go in, I've got my skins. It's the 2 rappers from Run the Jewels. I can now be either one of those characters. Do you remember?
I'm Killer Mike.
Killer Mike, and then
you're sunglasses guy.
Big L, yeah, I don't know. He's got sunglasses. LP.
That's it. And sunglasses guy.
And then a bunch of turquoise colored guns, which I think have their logos and an emblem. So I have 2 of all of those now because I did 2 codes at once. Those items cannot be scrapped.
Do you know why? Because if you scrap them, you can't run the jewels.
Yeah. Well, for freaking forbid that, you could get a couple pieces of scrap out of that to do something for $20 too. You've already spent your money.
Yeah, I want. If I spend my $20, I want to be able to destroy that money.
Destroy it. I did not spend my money, but you have spent your money.
Well, I haven't. I would never do that. But
you cannot destroy these. Yeah, I gave you a code too. So
which is good. That's why I'm Killer Mike.
Yeah. No, you're Killer.
I'm Killer Mike.
LP.
Your sunglasses.
Okay, so it's silly. Like I have a lot of fun hoping that people we play with, because we're completely decked out in our Run the Jewels gear now.
Yeah, we look stupid.
Yes, I really hope people that play with us publicly think, oh man, look at these super fans, and or are like, hey, I love them too, man.
I did get a text message. Where'd you get the skins, man? I love Run the Jewels. It said RTJ, but whatever. I knew. I was like, Return of the Jedi? Bought it on Amazon.
Yeah, no, that's. But I gotta say, they put in actual lines, like
some of them
that are actually pretty funny. Yeah, they're pretty good. It was fun to mix it up too. Although now we just are kind of constantly thinking about what characters we would really want to put in there.
It's true. It's true. I'm trying to remember.
Let's not talk about that right now. No,
I'm trying to remember why we talked about that.
We spent some time.
I
was just because I was curious. I was like, hey, I'm having a little bit of fun with these guys.
Who else would fit?
Yeah, who else would fit? But it would have to be somebody that would fit in Gears of War. And would that be somebody that I would like? I mean, not that I have anything against Run the Jewels, but it's not my cup-o.
No, but if it was, I guess, like, say, Rambo, you'd probably be a little more into it.
Yeah, but then does that fit? That's what I started. Because
in Gears of War, I think Rambo fits. I think Rambo.
Does he, though?
Yeah, because here's the thing. All you got to do with him is be like, hey, Rambo, what's the deal with war? And he's like, it's 5 of war. You got to become war. And then he's like, I got to be a gear of war.
Mid-era Rambo. Not latest Rambo.
Correct.
Not First Blood.
First Blood Part 2.
You're getting there.
Yeah, like First Blood Part 2 into 3 where he's just kind of like...
Yeah. Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah. I'm glad we're talking about this.
Let's move real quick through all these other games we played. We technically haven't talked about them, but let's do that.
Okay.
Did you do anything with Heart of the Storm?
I did.
That you want to talk about? Besides
I hadn't played it before.
Oh. What is it?
It's Blizzard's MOBA.
Okay, I thought so. There's like 3 things that have the same initials. I always forget.
Heart of the Storm, Heroes of the Swarm.
Yeah.
Or Heroes of the... Maybe this is Heroes of the Storm. Yeah, it's Heroes of the Storm, Heart of the Swarm. I think that's it. I don't remember. Whatever.
Hot.
It's HOTS.
Okay.
No, I played that a couple games. Jake, friend of the show from the Damn Woods.
Oh, yeah.
He and I played because there is a Genji skin that's available only through playing X amount of games in Heart of the whatever.
And then you get a Genji skin in Overwatch.
Correct.
Oh.
You also unlock Zarya in the MOBA.
Okay,
but I don't care.
I've heard about that.
I don't care as much about that. Although the MOBA itself, not what I assume they're all the same, and I've only had bad experiences with them, to be perfectly honest. Every game I've had bad experiences with people.
Paragon.
But Paragon's also different. Paragon's definitely a MOBA, but it also wasn't like League of Legends. And
I like how you're basically drawing a line. Like, you've had a bad experience with all the bad experience MOBAs,
right?
But not with the good experience MOBAs.
No, okay.
You've had a good experience.
I did have bad experiences with Paragon. They just I played that a little more, and I was playing with a few people that I knew, so those experiences were not as pointed. They're not as pointed.
Got it. Okay, fair.
No, this one, he and I just played against the AI, but learning the mechanics of the game and everything. It's actually a really, to me, it was a solid MOBA. It's really fun. It was. Will I go back to it and play it on a regular basis? No. But is it?
No.
But it's definitely something that if they keep doing this, throwing in a skin that's unique, that this is the only way you can get it, play a bunch of games. Sure, why not? I can manage that.
Okay.
As long as they never take away the ability to get the skin by playing against the AI. If I have to play against actual people, I'm out.
That's a fair review. Forza Horizon 3.
Nothing new.
Anything to add? No. Okay. We already talked about Overwatch. I did because I said I would.
Yeah, and you are a man of your words and principles.
Mm-hmm. At the end of the show, when I talk about what games I'm going to be playing to talk about the week following, you better believe I'm going to play them.
Yeah,
Recore and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Also, I'm not going to talk about them. I'll just save them for next week. But Recore, loving it as much as I thought I would so far.
Really? So how much gameplay have you gotten? Because my understanding is that you spend most of your time at a loading screen.
The loading screens, they said they've bettered them, which I guess I should be thankful for that. But they are on the long side still.
Good.
It's nothing. They're just on the long side. It's not like egregious or anything. But yes, I'm waiting. But no, it's. What that game is, that's an adventure game. Like you get past the first area and then it's Zelda, man. You're running dungeons. You're getting new weapons that you're opening treasure chests that you're starting to use on the next level, stuff like that.
See, that's a game that might be one I ask you to send me. And
I would at this point I would totally recommend it. If it doesn't overstay its welcome, like we'll see.
I need to hear how you feel about after you've played it for many hours.
We'll talk about it more next week.
Because it's right now, just based on what you played at PAX and what I've seen, it's not a game I want to spend money on, but I would like to play it. You know?
Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, no, I got it for $15 anyways. And then Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I'm not going to say anything, but freaking wow, man.
That bad, huh?
The beginning of that game,
just so bad. It's
okay,
so
fair.
awful.
I could see how that might have been a little ambiguous. Freaking amazing. The beginning, like whatever. It's Call of Duty. Like no, I don't know if anybody's gonna be. And I'm playing it on my new TV. Maybe this is the new TV talking. Yeah, I don't know, but freaking wow, the beginning of that game. Like it's a great opener.
Yeah.
But also just looks amazing, dude. Like I don't know.
You'll have to ship them both to me.
The beginning of that.
Because Call of Duty is one I've said it before. I've said it a million times. I will play one a generation. I'll play it, but I will only buy one a generation. So send it to me, and I'll play the single player because the single player is interesting to me. But
Jon Snow swings you around a bit, and then Colin McGregor punches you to death, and then you move on, and it's still cool.
I want Conor McGregor to punch
Conor
me
McGregor.
to death.
Colin McGregor. Connor.
They're very Irish names.
Conor McGregor. And then there was some other stuff that happened this week. I'm sure we can burn through it quick. The first thing, there was and I have this in here because I'm going to download it and then finish that game forever, and it's going to be great, and I'm going to love it. But the trailer for Star Wars Battlefront Rogue One Scarif DLC came out.
Yeah.
It's a fine trailer, whatever. I don't think that game's going to change terribly, but you're going to get a new hero and a new villain out of it, and it looks like it's going to be fun.
I'm actually really interested in seeing how Krennic plays out. Like Jyn seems like she's going to play like a kind of a normal shooter, but Krennic looks a little different. I'm kind of interested.
Let's stream that. Do we take another break on Gears this week, or maybe we just stream another day?
I think if we take a break on Gears Thursday night is fine, but I don't think we're going to do this. I'd rather actually go with Rocket League.
Okay. Look at you.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, 7 p.m. PST. Check it out. And then also PlayStation Experience happened this week.
Man, what a week filled with just trailers.
Experiences.
Yeah.
And you're right, most of these were trailers. So Knack 2, go.
I don't have a knack for it.
Can Mark Cerny just do whatever he wants at Sony? Is that what's happening here?
I guess, man, because that game, I know people enjoyed it, but it didn't light the world on fire, and it was certainly not
have a boss.
I think he is the boss.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Did you watch the trailer for that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially after the conversation we just had talking about
we did
that.
talk about this when it was rumored that it was coming out.
Yeah.
And whatever.
It looks fine.
I got burned by 3, etc., etc.
Well,
does it look fine though? So this is my thing, right? Because they also announced that Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate 3 is getting remastered and released in March. If you're playing with Xbox, I think it's out now for on PS4 actually. But I am not digging the aesthetic of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite compared to Marvel vs. Capcom 3 went really comic booky.
Yeah, it was like bright colors. It was there was a lot of contrast.
Very poppy.
Yeah.
Very comic book. This going a little bit more realism, going for a little bit more, not that Street Fighter was going for that, but I don't know. I'm not digging the look as much, dude.
I feel like it looks more like a Street Fighter game than a Marvel game. But whatever, it's fine. I don't have strong opinions on it. I told you, it's like I said before. I enjoyed.
Don't feed them after midnight.
I enjoyed the games. They were fine. They're just they never clicked for me. And Marvel 3, the drive for that was my son and Deadpool. The drive here will definitely be your decision. If you get it, I'll get it and I'll play it and it'll be fine. If you don't, it's not something I'm going to go out of my way to pick up for sure. No
X-Men yet. It's kind of weird.
I'm kind of interested to see where that's going too. I mean, they've only announced 4 characters so far. They announced Iron Man, or 6 characters. Iron Man, Captain Marvel,
which there's video of these.
Those 2 fighting Ryu and Mega Man. And then they announced Captain America and Morrigan from Darkstalkers. So we've got time.
Yeah, for sure. It's just the look right out of the gate isn't.
What I have a feeling you're going to see here is you're going to see a very diverse cast from the Marvel side. So I don't know how many, if any, other than I imagine you'll get Cyclops and probably Wolverine. Outside of that, I don't know that you'll get any other X-Men.
If they don't do Wolverine, that's kind of nuts.
Well, it's like you have to have Wolverine and Spider-Man and Captain America. Those are 3, and Hulk. Those are the 4 that I would say have to be in a Marvel versus Capcom.
Would be weird, yeah. Anyways, and then the trailer came out for The Last of Us Part 2. Announced, and there was a trailer for, which looks like more Last of Us.
Yeah. Only the more interesting to me about this particular thing isn't that they're doing a sequel or that Ellie and Joel are still part of the sequel and that Ellie's older. They noted that the game is going to be, as opposed to the first one, more about love and coming together. This one is about hate. But what I think is interesting is one of the writers of the game and the co-director, I guess, left and is not doing the game anymore.
He's on sabbatical, yeah. So his close buddy is the one that's heading this one up.
So I'm very curious to see if this was very much, the first game was very much a partner thing that really needed 2 people, or if it's going to hold up on its own. And frankly, that
company has seen a little bit of an exodus too. I don't know. When
Amy Hennig left, that was huge. I mean, Uncharted 4 seemed to do gangbusters, so we'll see.
It's true.
Naughty Dog's, they've engendered enough goodwill. I will be perfectly honest and say this was not a game series I wanted to see as a series. One and done with this one should have been how it ended. That's just me.
Fair. No, fair. Wipeout.
Oh man.
Omega Collection.
Day 1.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is a remaster of 3 Wipeout games. Looks like the original 2048.
Yeah.
And
remastered. They're remastering the remaster.
I could look at this article, but then I would know.
Wipeout 2048,
Wipeout Fury.
Wipeout HD, and Wipeout Fury. That's what it is. Yeah, those were games that I played. I played a ton of the original Wipeout. That was one of the few PlayStation games. Like I played it every day.
Yeah,
one of the absolute best soundtracks to any game.
So I'm gathering that like there was, I had one friend with a PlayStation when I was growing up. I had the N64, and I would go over to his house, and he would just have that disc playing music.
Yeah.
Like off of his TV.
Yeah, for sure. No, that was, I totally used that in my car, or I had a car CD player where it played in.
Appears to not be a rare thing.
And Sliptide, actually, when I tweeted this one out because I was excited about it, and he was like, dude, I still listen to that soundtrack almost every day.
And the music in the trailer for the remaster was actually seemed pretty cool.
Amazing. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Cool.
Solid games.
Are you a Crash Bandicoot fellow?
You know what? I played one game. I liked it fine. I didn't follow up with it. Never really stuck with me.
It's still to me seemed like the game that you played because you didn't have an N64. Like you didn't have Mario 64.
That's kind of how I felt about it too.
You got Crash Bandicoot. So I don't know. I mean, the remaster looks like a hell of a job. Like they showed some before and after stuff, and there's a gameplay trailer out there now. But yeah,
he's one of those characters where like, you know, it's hard to knowingly create a character that people are going to fall in love with. Some people can do it. I'm sure there are characters that somebody was like, this is the guy, like, or this is the character, this is the woman.
Gex.
This is it. Yeah, exactly. You get things like Gex. you get the Crash Bandicoots. You get, you know, to an extent the what was the rare one? Banjo-Kazooie. They're, you know, all of them have their fans, but they're not Mario, they're not Zelda, or they're not Link, you know, but that's what they're aiming for. And
yeah, this is the weird in between phase of that stuff.
And it
too.
was
like
totally.
like Banjo and Mario 64, and then this was them like, where do 3D platformers go? Like I guess this
was to me more a response. Crash Bandicoot was always more a response to Sonic in my mind than anything Nintendo was doing. It was they wanted
that feel.
I think they wanted to take what Nintendo did with Mario 64, but make it with Sonic. And then they got Crash Bandicoot.
Fair.
So that's
Crash Bandicoot.
That's an ugly baby.
We're just talking about this because I guess they're doing a remaster of the trilogy.
All of them?
I don't know. There are 3 of them. It's the N.Sane trilogy. It's coming out in 2017. I thought I mentioned. I didn't mention that.
You mentioned there was a remaster. You didn't say anything else about it.
There's nothing to say. Hey, did you download the Resident Evil 7 demo?
I have not. And the main...
How have you not? It seems like a thing you would have downloaded right away.
Yeah, no, you know why? Because I don't have a PlayStation VR, and I only want to play that game in VR.
Ah, okay. All right, okay.
It's very frustrating.
Are you going to hold out? Because there's this thing.
Probably
It
not.
apparently got updated again. It's doing the PT thing like times 10.
Yes.
Like it's got this real super convoluted things you can do to actually beat the demo, I guess. But it's... Anyways, that came out, and it seems crazy and cool. Is this?
Yeah, I watched a walkthrough of for it. I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple weeks back and then months prior to that, there were some trailers they were releasing, and at one point there was a finger that popped up, and it was a severed finger, and weird, and it showed up in the game, and nobody knew what to do with it, and finally somebody figured it out, and that's where the PT comes in.
What to do with it?
Yeah, what should I do with my finger? Ryan,
there's a big long list of things.
Yeah, it's a huge list.
We should get into it.
But I watched I think it was like 16 minutes a walkthrough just to see what it looked like, and looks like PT on steroids. Terrifying. But yeah, I'll probably get it. I won't be waiting for VR when it actually releases.
Oh, okay. So you are all right. Okay,
yeah, I'll probably pick it up.
And that was the PlayStation experience. Now it's time for the rest of that experience.
It's time for the PlayStation Experience Edition of the Lightning Round.
Okay.
This week, Ryan Miller on the clock, 30 seconds. Lightning Round, PlayStation Experience Edition.
Like there's a lot of these.
Here we go. You've only got 30 seconds, so
okay.
Clock starts. Akuma in Street Fighter V out December 20th.
Of this year?
Lara Croft Go comes to PlayStation 4.
That's fine. Is there
Ni no Kunai 2 out in 2017.
Wait, what?
Ace Combat 7?
Is that? Are you asking me?
Uncharted 4 DLC, The Lost Legacy with Chloe and Nadine.
Sure, that's
Full throttled remastered.
Is it the with the guns?
Parappa the Rappa, Patapon, and Loco Roco remasters coming at you.
Yes.
Windjammers coming to PS4 and PS Vita.
Okay, that makes sense actually now.
And finally, the Destiny December update, The Dawning, brings back the Sparrow Racing League.
Oh, there it is.
Thank you, Ryan Miller. That was a long 30 seconds. We will tally up the votes and see how you did. But until then, let's talk about games that are coming out today and this week in the near future.
What about today? There's that Rocket League Starbase Arc thing we talked about. What about tomorrow? The gigantic open beta is starting.
It is.
I guess.
It's gigantic.
Yakuza 6. December 9th is finally Starly Girls episode Starzia. Starsha. December 12th, Bastion is coming out for Xbox One, and if you owned it on the 360, you can actually get it free on your Xbox One until January 1st. So that's cool.
That is cool.
And then December 13th, Stardew Valley is coming to PlayStation 4. It's coming to Xbox One on the 14th, but we won't talk about that. And then also on the 13th, this just came out, but I guess the holiday event for Overwatch starts. That would be the holiday.
Merry Torbjorns.
So next week we'll be talking about more stuff again. What games will those be?
Torbjorn.
You're going to play Torbjorn the game.
Mm-hmm.
Or are you just going to talk about Torbjorn?
No, I'm engaged.
Is this related to your fanfic, your erotic fanfic?
I'm just making a whole bunch of Swedish meatballs this week. That's all.
Okay, fair. Thanks. Prove me right.
What are we doing this week? Yeah, definitely Rocket League. I want to try some of the new stuff and just play it, and I haven't done it for a while. Overwatch, I'm sure will pop up. We'll see. I've got a really busy week at home and busy weekend, so I don't really expect to get a lot done this week.
Okay. Sure. No, why would we do any of that? I'm definitely going to talk about Recore some more, Infinite Warfare some more, which, by the way, I'm playing that. My wife wanted in on that one. Like
Infinite
that's
Warfare?
why I'm playing it on the new TV. Yeah, totally.
Because it's got Jon Snow
That's
in
a
it.
thing to watch, man. Yeah, exactly. Also that too. I was like, yeah. So I'll play some more of that. Also, I'm going to get into that Scarif stuff, even if we don't stream it. So I'll play some Battlefront.
Yeah.
Which also means that the Battlefront Base Commander Companion iOS app get more. The new maps have been uploaded. There's plenty more to go through.
I can't wait for you to tell me about you enjoying that game.
I play that game every day.
I do not play that game every day.
All right.
I do play a different game every day. Your hip-hop!